Welcome to the third lesson of this AutoCAD Plan 3D course. In this class, we are going to learn and get to know the AutoCAD interface. Once you have installed the software, you may have these 5 icons here, or even more. But let's start with this. The first one is AutoCAD. You have the traditional version or the standard version of AutoCAD installed when you install the Plan 3D package. Then you have the AutoCAD Plan 3D specifically. Then you have the AutoCAD Plan 3D spec editor, which is something you can use within AutoCAD Plan 3D, and also the AutoCAD Plan Report Creator, which also can be used within the AutoCAD Plan 3D interface. And you have the Autodesk desktop app. Good. So we're going to start with a very brief presentation of the AutoCAD, the standard AutoCAD interface. So in case any of you don't know and how to use and have never been in front of an AutoCAD, a standard AutoCAD version. And as it is the basics and the foundation of any AutoCAD software, we're going to go through it. Well, as you can see, it takes some time. This is a heavy software that sometimes could be slow when you are executing it. So, well, you will just have to wait, have some patience, and then you will have opened the interface of AutoCAD in this case. So, well, here it is. We have opened the AutoCAD interface. And in this case, we're going to create a drawing just to see how does it work. But we're going to use this option, examine example drawings. Well, it looks like we don't have any example drawing here. Let's see. Well, yeah, we have. So, okay, let's see which one we are going. Let's open this. It's a mechanical drawing. Okay. This is how a document in AutoCAD may look. Yes. This one is, I cannot edit this one because it's reading only. But here you can see you have a table. Okay. With different information. You have a drawing. In this case, even though it said mechanical, it looks like, well, it's a power plant. It's a process flow diagram of a power plant. And you have here all the specifics, the steam condensate, the steam scrubbing line, etc. You will have everything. And here you have this drawing. Yes, you can look at, for example, let's see this unit. If you see this unit, each part of this unit is a different object. You can put the cursor over any part and click it, and they're going to be selected as different parts, even this filling. You can do this in an AutoCAD environment without any problem, but this is just a drawing. This, for example, this separator, the software does not have the information of this separator. Its temperature, its size, its materials, its supplier, its manufacturer. It doesn't know what comes from this line and what goes off these two lines. So it's just a drawing. And that's because we are in the traditional AutoCAD software. If we look, as we're going to do in a few videos, when we work on AutoCAD Plan 3D, each part, for example, this green vessel or separator is going to be a single unit, and it's going to have data of regarding the process that's occurring inside this vessel. So, well, let's close this sample, and let's start a drawing. You just click Start Drawing, and here you are. This is the standard or traditional interface. So it started, and we are going to fill first. Well, let's start here. you have the drawing space, okay? If I move the cursor to the left, to the extreme left, nothing happens. And if I do the same to the right, I have this small palette. It has some tools to navigate. You have here this compass, okay? And why did I went to the left if nothing happens? Because in the AutoCAD Plan 3D version, you can open the project manager by moving the cursor to the far left. So you have here is your axis, okay? And what I'm doing here is zooming out. How do you zoom out? With a mouse that has a scroller, and you're going to scroll down to make zoom out, or scroll in to zoom in, scroll up, sorry, to zoom in, okay? Let's put it here, down here. There you have, here it's the model tab, but then you have the layout 1 and layout 2. It means that everything you're going to draw here can be also put in a paper space, okay? Here you can see also I have in the layout 1, here says paper. This AutoCAD version is in Spanish, but you can have it in English as well. So we're working in the model space, it says model, and here you have different buttons that we're going to learn in the following lessons. So let's start for the upper ribbon of, or the upper palette. We're going to start in the home palette, okay? And at this moment, we're going to learn how to use these buttons, but afterwards, we're going to learn how to use the commands behind these buttons. For example, let's put the cursor over this first button, which is line. And it says, well, line creates straight lines. It shows some example, and below you see in this case, it's in Spanish, the word línea in caps. This is the command. So you can either click here in the line button or write in your keyboard without having to click anywhere. You're going to write, in this case, línea or line in English. And the effect, the result will be the same. So we're going to start with the buttons. Well, so I clicked on line. I also have instructions near my cursor. Here, this white cross is my cursor, and there are instructions. It says specify the first point. So I can click on my first point, and then it says specify the following point or, okay? When it says or, there shows the arrow key, the down arrow key. If I press it, well, it says undo. So I can, if I'm drawing a line, I can specify the first point and the second point, or just undo. So we're going to specify the second point. You can see I can move in the complete 360 degrees, and I can specify the following point. And also I have the length of this line. You can see these numbers, which when I move, they are changing. I'm making zoom in. Okay, here I cannot make more zoom in. So I'm here. I can draw a line of a specific number of units in a specific direction. Okay, so I'm going to make a line of 1500 units in the in that direction. Okay, after I have drawn it, I can continue drawing other lines that are connected to the first one I did. Okay, I'm going to do, I don't know, kind of a labyrinth here. Okay, and how do I stop creating lines? Well, I have to press the escape button in my keyboard. Once I have done this, I have 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, 6 lines, 7 lines, different lines. I can move them separately. For example, I can take this one, write the move command, which in English is move, but I'm not sure what's the Spanish command for that. But anyway, let's touch it here. Okay, and I can move it without any command. And I only moved this part of the line. Okay, if I want to take it back, the best thing I can do is press Ctrl Z. Okay, so this is the third experiment we have done with the command line. But now let's see what a polyline can do. We're going to click it here. Look at the command. The command is POL or polyline. Okay, in Spanish, we're going to see it afterwards in English. Don't worry about that. So let's draw something akin to this drawing. So we have here first steep line that then comes down, and we have kind of this labyrinth here. Okay, let's say they are similar. I don't want to draw any more lines, so I'm going to press escape. And look at the difference of this object with this object. We have seen that these objects are different parts of line. On the other hand, this object is a single object. Yes, I can move it as a single object, and I can even move its parts, but it's going to keep connected. It's not going to split, as in this case. Okay, well, look at something interesting. We are used that when you click something, okay, and you then click other thing, the first selection disappears, and then you have just selected the second thing. In AutoCAD, the selection does not disappear. You can select different things consecutively without having to do anything. So if I don't want to select consecutively, I have to press the escape button. Okay, so I can select this one, press escape button, and then select this one, and I can move it as we already saw. This is the main difference. I press Ctrl C. Okay, this is the main difference of line and polyline. Okay, let's go with a circle, the command circle. If you see here, it has a small arrow below, because you can, if I click there, I have different options to draw a circle. So the first one, let's see what the instruction says. The instructions says, specify central point for the circle or, okay? Let's follow these instructions. Specify the center. So I click here. Then it says, specify the radius of the circle, or you can write it, or you can use another option. So let's make a circle with a radius of 500 units. Okay, there is my circle. I just wrote down 500 and pressed enter. Okay, what happened if, let's create another circle. I specify, well, let's see what appears if I press the down arrow button. I have 3p, 2p, or tangent radius. What does that mean is that I can draw a circle specifying 3 points, 2 points, or a tangent radius. Okay, actually there are more options. You can see them here. Specifying the center and the radius, as we just did. Specifying center and diameter, 2 points, 3 points, tangent radius, and tangent. It says it's create a circle that is tangent to 3 objects, as in the picture. Tangent radius is an object, a circle that is tangent to 2 objects, and you can specify its radius, okay? And 3 points, 2 points, and the other ones, I believe, they are very self-explicative. So let's make just an example of 3 points. Specify the first point, then the second point, then the third point, and there is a circle that contains the 3 points I used. And let's do this tangent, tangent, and radio. It says specify the point in the first object for the first tangent. Let's say this one. Then specify the point or the object for the second tangent. Let's say this one. And then it says specify the radius of the circle. It already calculated it because in this case there is just one option, and the radius is 341.8824 units. So I press enter, and there I have a circle that is tangent to other two circles or other two objects. Okay, let's continue. The arc option. Here you have a lot of options of how to draw an arc. The most common is 3 points. Specify first point, second point, third point, and I have an arc. Okay, you can do it with all the rest of the options. Let's delete. Then you have a rectangle or a polygon. Okay, rectangle, you just specify the first corner and the opposite corner, and that's all. If you specify a polygon, it says specify the number of sides. Well, let's say an octagon, 8 sides. I pressed 8 button in my keyboard and press enter in my keyboard. Then I have to specify the center of the polygon, let's say here. And I have two options. If I want it inscribed in a circle or circumscribed around a circle. Okay, we're going to inscribe in a circle, and I can specify the radius of the circle. Let's say 1,000 units. And I have here an octagon with 800 radius. I'm going to take advantage of the shape we have just drawn and use the text tool. Okay, I'm going to right here. It says specify the first corner. The first corner is this one. Specify the opposite corner. Specify the opposite corner. Okay, and then I'm going to write, you can guess it, stop. Yeah, and click anywhere else. Okay, what happened? Well, my text may have gone somewhere. So we're going to click Ctrl Z. Okay, redo. Okay, let's do it again. Text, first corner, second corner. Right, stop. Let's change its style. Well, say it's standard. You can change here the font, for example. You can say, I don't know, this one. Well, I have to select it, obviously. This one. Or this one, for example. You can have it bold. You can have here all the different fonts you have in your computer. Okay. You can have it centered. Well, what happened here? Look at the size of this thing. I'm going to shrink it because, well, I want it centered here, not over there. Okay. And well, I click again and I'm losing my text. Let's try one more time. Let's try here. Okay, something happens with the button, but with the command, it looks like it worked well. So for text, I'm going to use the command. What the command is? Well, it is text. In Spanish, texto, but text. All right, text. It says specify the first point, specify height, specify the angle, and then there you have. I click anywhere else, fine. Okay. Well, I'm going to use here the command scale, which is in English. In Spanish, I'm not sure which the command is. So, well, it was just testing this. Okay, other figures I can have. I have the ellipse, okay, and I have the axis, and then the distance to the other axis, and I have these different kinds of ellipses, okay? And I can hatch it. I can select these ellipses, click on hatch. I have to click on an internal point, and I can select how do I want my hatching, okay? In this case, I just wanted it solved. Okay, let's delete it. Let's see what else can we learn here. Well, you have actually a lot of tools. We're not going to go through all of them because remember, we are in the standard AutoCAD interface and we're here to learn how to use AutoCAD Plant 3D. Nevertheless, it's important to know all of these parts because you're going to use them in the AutoCAD Plant 3D, okay? So you can have, and this you will have in the AutoCAD Plant 3D, you will have annotation, you will have parametrics, views, you can have manage, the output, the complements, how to collaborate, and well, you can even buy some other things to use here. So having learned that, I'm going to make one more thing. Let me draw, I don't know, some things here. A pentagon. Okay, and then a line. Look, here you can see these green lines and these green squares. Well, these are like aids that AutoCAD gives us. And you can manage them here, down here. Let's look about this tool palette here. Well, we already saw about the model or paper. Then you have the grid. I can turn off the grid or turn on the grid. Here, I can have this option, which actually doesn't make any difference. Then I have this constraint to restrict the cursor only in a 90 degrees range. So if I want to draw a line, as we did in the beginning of the video, I can only move in 90 degrees. Remember that I showed you how I could move in a 360 degrees. In this case, with this option activated, I can only move and draw in 90 degrees, which is very helpful to maintain the aesthetics of our drawings. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. With this one, I can do the same, but for different angles. I can select the angles. If you want to move in 45, in multiples of 30, 23, 18, etc. Okay? Well, isometrics. The other thing is this snap. Sometimes it could be very annoying, the snap, but sometimes it will be very helpful. The snap is this green square. If I don't have the snap, let me turn it off. If I don't have the snap, well, in this case, yeah, okay, it's deactivated. If I want this line to connect to this corner here, I can put it there, but it's not actually connected. If I want to be sure that it's going to be connected, I have to turn on the snap option and click on this green square, and it's going to connect it, okay? Well, we have here isolate. We're going to go through it more in a more advanced video. And well, we can close now the standard AutoCAD interface. Okay, I'm going to save it. And now I'm going to open the AutoCAD Plant 3D software, which is the reason why you are taking this course. And we are going through the AutoCAD Plant 3D interface as soon as it opens. As I told you, this may take a while. It depends on your computer. It depends on the specifics of your computer. of the version you're using, of the usage of your memory, and of your processor. Okay, so now it's opening, and you can see it's quite similar to the one I have seen. Just we have just seen. Okay, so I'm going. Yeah, well, this is the thing I showed you in the AutoCAD standard. That if you go to the far left with your cursor, nothing happens. Well, here opens the project manager. I'm going to close it. Okay, so we're going to start a new project. Here you always have to have a project. You cannot draw something like a standalone drawing as we just did in AutoCAD standard. We have to open a project. And here with the get started with PNID or Plan 3D, actually, if I touch it, it's kind of a tutorial on how to use some parts, but it's not to create a PNID and a standalone PNID. And look, here I have 3 tabs: Learn, Create, and Get Started. It sent me to the Get Started tab. In Create, it's the main tab where I can start. And well, in Learn, I have some videos and informations to better understand some things that you may have doubts about. So create, you have to create a project. That's all you can open. We can open and open, but we are going to create a project. Okay, I'm going to call it project 2 because I already have a project 1. Okay, the description I'm going to say, well, I don't know, it's a Plan 3D. Oh, sorry, Plan 3D course. Okay, this is the project setup. I'm not going to the specifics of this because we're going to do that in the following videos. And this moment, I'm just clicking next to create the project I want. And we are going to have a complete video to understand how to use the project setup. Okay, as you can see, it takes some time to create a project. We have to wait, we have to be patient, and it will finally open a project. Okay, here I have the current project is project 2. How did I open this tab? Well, I move the cursor to the left and the project manager appears. Well, look, project 2, it says PNID drawings, Plan 3D drawings, pipe specs, and related files. All of them are empty. Well, except for the pipe specs. And related files. All of them are empty because I haven't drawn anything. And the pipe specs, well, there are 74 specifications of piping because they are already within the AutoCAD platform. So we're going to start with a PNID drawing. I have to click PNID drawing and click on this button that says New Drawing. Okay? It asked me what the name is, and let's say it's Practice 1. Okay, and here I am. I have the paper space and the model space. But hey, look, here says model. And we just saw that when it says model, I have the dark environment. And here I have the paper environment. What's going on? Well, here I have a viewport. We're going to see what a viewport is in a following video. But I can change from model to paper just by clicking here. For example, clicking in the paper section. Now I am in the paper, and whatever is here cannot be moved. But if I double click here, I open the model section. I can, for example, draw a line with the command line, okay? And I can move it, yeah? But if I click here, whatever I do here is not going to move. It's fixed, okay? Well, and let's go to the model, delete this, and actually it's kind of uncomfortable work with this view. So we're going to click here in this plus sign. It says viewport controls. We're going to maximize viewport. Okay, here we have our viewport, which is this yellow square and the rest of the space. Well, let's see something. I just have a grid inside the yellow space. What if I want it to be all over the place? Well, let's click Grid Display. And well, here I don't have the instructions in my cursor. I have the instructions down here. Grid display. Enter new value for grid display. The current value is 2. Let's write 1, for example. Well, the grid display disappeared. Let's write grid display again. Grid display. Enter. Let's write 0. Well, I have a very small grid within the yellow space. I don't want it. Let's say grid display. Again, enter, and 3. Okay, here I have a grid that goes beyond the yellow square. And I showed you how you can iterate, because you don't have to know by heart what does grid display 0, 1, 2, and 3 mean. But you can try and iterate until you have what you want or what you need. Okay. Well, so this interface we already saw. The viewport, we already saw the paper and the model spaces. We saw this command bar here. We saw the project manager. And let's go to the far right to see what happens. Oh, here opens something. Here opens a palette. But look, these are like 3D parts. And I can see different things in 3D. And I am not in a 3D environment. Well, at least I think I'm not, because I started at PNID, right? But my AutoCAD Plan 3D started within, look here, a 3D piping environment. Well, just because, by default. So I have to change it. I have to change it to the space I want to work on. PNID, PIP, ISO, ISA, DIN, or JIS, ISO, okay? These are different standards for engineering drawing, and you can work with all of them. Each of them has its specifics and its characteristics. In this case, I set up the project to work with the PNID ISA, so I'm going to be coherent and put ISA again. Okay, look. Well, first of all, this project manager now is fixed. I don't want it fixed because it reduces my space to work. So I'm going to click here in this arrow, in this little symbol, and it's going to hide it. And it's going to open only if I move my cursor to the far left. Okay, and now look, this palette now is detached from this side of the screen. I actually can move it wherever I want, but I want it to be here, and I want it to hide as well. And I just want to see it if I move my cursor over it. Well, so you now learn how to hide and show the project manager and the tool palette. Look here, the tool palette. You have pipelines, you have instrument lines, you have equipment, pumps, compressor, blowers, heat exchangers. Remember the vessel we saw in the example in AutoCAD standard. You can draw a vessel here and specify its size and even specify its number. I want a tank number 01, okay? And now this is a single object. It's not two straight lines and two arcs. No, it's a single object, which also is identified with a kind of equipment and has a tag. And if I connect lines and all the things, it will have all that information, okay? So let's close it. So here in the tool palette, you'll have all these different. These symbols are according the ISA standard. If I had selected any other standard, I will have here different symbols, okay? Valves, fittings, instruments, and non-engineering items, okay? Well, now let's go through the ribbons here. We have, in the home, we have the project manager. What's the project manager? This little window. You can access it from here or from here. You have the data manager. As we have drawn nothing, there's nothing in the data manager. We're going to go through it in the following videos. You have annotate. You can draw annotations. As this time, I look, it says select down in the command part. Select an S-line or component to annotate. I have no S-line or no component, therefore I cannot annotate anything yet. We're going to go through that further. There you have assign tag. A tag is the data the software records for itself. The annotation is the visual expression of the tag you have already designed. You can edit blocks, you have schematic lines, you can group lines, validate, paint the PNID, you have layers, which are going to be very useful in the 3D part. You have blocks, annotation, properties, utilities, etc. Properties is also important, but this button is unlikely used. There are other ways to access to the properties we're going to see in the following courses. Then you have insert. You can insert blocks, block definitions, make references, import PDFs, import data, link and extract data, set location. You're going to use it to say, well, what I'm drawing is located in this specific part of the globe. Okay? You have annotations with the text. You can measure standards, make tables, etc. Add center marks. Manage. You can record actions, customize actions, applications. Okay? There you have view. In the view, you have the tool palettes, the properties, blocks, set manager, sorry. You have the views. Navigate is going to be useful in the 3D. As this time, it's not very useful. You have the output, how to print, how to export the products you have produced. We are going to look that in depth further in the following video. You have add-ins, collaborate, bold, express tools, featured apps, and layout. Okay. Look that there are different palettes than compared to the standard AutoCAD version. So, well, this is the interface. In the following videos, we're going to learn more commands, and we're going to start drawing our first PNIDs in this Autodesk AutoCAD Plan 3D course. Many thanks, and see you in the following lesson.